All right, next up, guys, we're going to start to look at where to take this thing and how to start looking at further like lighting conditions and how to actually make this thing feel real. Um, so I was doing some quick, sort of, I guess, research, trying to refresh my memory on how to actually turn these off. And unless I'm mistaken, you can't hide the Rhino family lights in the scene. I think I recall that because I don't. You guys know I don't use this on the day to day, so there are a few gaps. But I think you actually have to use the Maxwell IES lights. So we're going to switch to that, which is actually going to work out better for us because they're better for detail conditions. That's precisely what we're going to do here. So let's start to look at a couple of things. First and foremost, I guess let's take a look at some comparison renders I did. I did one, you guys already saw this. This is the one I ran before. I ran it for 9 minutes, and the lighting was pretty convincing on the outside. It had blue light coming in from the north, and it had what is showing as white light, but it's actually more of like a warm yellow light coming in from the west. But what I did was, in order to combat that graininess and to get my rendering to run faster, I simulated that light by putting spots outside of, not spots actually, point lights outside of my model. So I put a warm point light here, and I put a cool point light there, and I ran it that way. So this is the result. It's not perfect. It's not exactly like the other one, but it serves the purpose of simulating it. What I would do differently is pull this one back a little bit so it didn't spray too far into the space this way. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that kind of stuff once you guys start getting into it. So we went from this to this. Not too terribly different. I'd probably change the quality of the blue light too and make it a little bit brighter blue. But this one, far less grainy, only ran for 5 minutes. Okay, so that's I mean, when you start doing 4, 5, 6 hour renders, that's a major difference between the two. That's a difference between a 3-hour render and a 5.5, 6-hour render. Okay. But anyway, so that was just a quick little trial. So let's get into some more interior lighting. What you guys will probably need to be aware of is that, we're starting to get some, real-ish lighting quality in the space, but it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real because we have this little ball that's just hovering there. So what we actually have to do is model enough detail to make what we're doing in the space feel, sort of pull us into the realm of surreality and just make it, make it feel like we're in that digital world and we're actually like in that space in our real lives. So one of the easiest things you can do is just use the smallest amount of detail possible. If you start using fine detail, you don't even have to do it too much. It's actually going to read really well. So let's get into the model. What we're going to create are can lights. Raise your hand if you know what a can light is. Okay, so a can light is like a recessed light that you see anywhere. Looks like these. Okay, they come in many different shapes and sizes and varieties. Some swivel, some stick out, some are further recessed. The key here is you're going to be tempted to just cut a hole in the roof and just put a little disc in there and then say, this is a light, go. Okay, but we need to change it so that it actually shows that little rim. And I'm telling you, that little rim on that light makes all the difference. So we're going to do a little trial. In your model, let's turn on a layer and let's call it, we'll call it can rim. And then we'll do can light. The can rim, I'm going to make blue. Can light, I'm going to make light gray. Okay. So the way I'm actually going to do this is just using a sphere, and all right, so I'm going to do it using a sphere, and then I'm going to just model a little rim around it. So we're going to go to can rim. Let's do a sphere. Start off here. this is a radius dimension, so most cans are going to be like anywhere from like 4 to 6 to 8 inches. I'm going to accentuate how big these are just so they're a little more obvious. So we're going to go with 8 inches, which is a 4-inch radius. Okay, when I move this thing into the space, I can use the roof to split it. So I'm going to say select objects to split, use that to split it, and I'm going to get rid of this. There. Okay, so that's my semicircle. The cool thing about the semicircle is I can actually extract the wireframe just to get that edge. So side note, guys, if I ever say like a tool or something and you've never heard of it and you really want me to explain it, you can stop me. So like if you've never heard of extract wireframe, it's a really important tool and you should know about it. Okay, so I'm going to extract that and I'm going to do a couple things. Okay, I want this to be efficient for me to model, so I need to first create all the geometry and group it up together the way I need it to be and look. And then secondarily, I'm actually going to have to create a disk that I can move around with all of the model elements that I place, and that's going to be used to subtract. So I'm also going to create another layer, and I'm going to call it can bool. That's for my, I don't know why I call it bool. I call it negative, subtraction, whatever you want to call it. I just use that for subtractive elements. So here I'm going to say offset. Let's do it 1/2 inch. Yeah, that should do it. Something like that. And this curve, that curve, we're going to planar surface that thing. Grab that surface, extrude. Oh, I went the wrong way. Let's see. Extrude surface. Let's go 1/4 inch down. Minus 1/4 inch. There we go. So that's a little exaggerated. Normally I wouldn't go a full 1/4 inch. I'd probably keep it like an 1/8 inch and keep it really fine. But yeah, you'll see that there. So here I've got a curve. I'm going to do a planar surface on that one too. And this one I'm going to put on my can bool layer. I'm going to make that red so it sticks out like a sore thumb. Okay, so I've got a couple of things here. I've got my housing, the actual can. I've got the rim. I've got the Boolean surface. Whoops. And I'm going to select that without that and just group it for now. So now when I select that, all of that gets selected. Okay. So I don't really need too much lighting in this space. So I'm going to, oh, one other thing I forgot. Inside of that group, we also need ungroup. We also need a light. So let's grab that curve again, planar surface, grab the blue one. I'm going to put it on can light. There we go. Perfect. Group. I'm going to just make this easy on myself and not worry about the array command. So I'm going to go 5, make it 8 feet. Actually, let's just go 10 feet. No, 8 feet. 8 feet. 8 feet. 8 feet and 8 feet. There we go. Forget it. Just grab them this way. So all I'm really doing here is just kind of putting them into place so that they look good in the rendering. Nothing special. And then I'm going to copy another one up here. I'll do another one over here too. Something like that. There we go. So, like, you guys need to be thinking about process. So I don't know how much you guys would have scrutinized how I put that assembly together, but I found that in my head to be a very efficient way to assemble all those. So now what's cool is I can select all of them. I can ungroup them. I can turn off, let's go to the bool layer. I can turn off the light and the rim. And all I have are these subtractive guys right here. So let's see, it doesn't have volume. So let me just grab all of these, give them some, whoops, nope, didn't get it. Give them some volume, stick them down, and I'm just going to use trim. Cutting objects, these guys, trim that surface. Whoa, I did it the other way. Oh, that's right, I can't do it that way. All right, maybe I do want some thickness here. So I'm going to extrude this surface 1 inch. Let's go to ceiling. Now I can do that. Boolean difference. Select the surface, polysurface. There we go. Cool. I'll get rid of that. Boom. Now I got holes. And then when I turn my layers on, those lights are filling it up. Okay, so it doesn't seem like a lot of modeling. At least I hope that didn't feel like a lot of modeling to you guys, but I'm telling you, it will make a huge difference. All right. So I do want to kind of separate the prep video from the running an introduction of like how to use Maxwell lighting materials. Do you have any questions about what I did just there? No? Okay. I thought that would be cooler.